This is the rapper Cameron, and he recently suffered a very tragic loss with the sudden passing of his girlfriend, Tawassa. Now, this may look like an old picture because it is an old picture. Cameron and Tawassa had known each other for many, many years, and they recently rekindled their relationship maybe in the last year and a half or so. All right, they were like as thick as thieves for the last year and a half. Now, Tawassa was very, very active on social media, and she oftentimes posted Cameron. Now, Cameron says he was private, and so you never really saw him post her at all. And since her passing, which was a few days ago, he hasn't said much at all. Obviously, this man is grieving. You know, again, prayers to him and her family. A couple days, no, actually it was yesterday, Cameron finally got up the courage to go ahead and speak of her sudden loss, his sudden loss, and how he felt about Tawassa. And it made some people feel a type of way, and I'll explain in a moment. So let me read what he wrote yesterday. He says, "First off, I want to thank my family, friends, and fans for their condolences. I really appreciate it. This is not my son's mother. My son's mother is fine." That's because a lot of people were assuming and writing that his son's mother died, and that wasn't true. "This is someone I went out with years ago, and we got back together a year and a half ago, and I had the best time of my life during that period. She was the person I spent 3 to 4 nights a week with, the person I spoke to on the phone 7 to 8 times a day, the person I fell asleep on the phone with, the person I spent all summer with, the person I was planning Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and our birthdays with, the person who put me on to high-end fashion, my biggest supporter, the person that wouldn't let you talk about me while she was around. I could go on and on, but this was really the love of my life. I had so many close people die. I thought I was numb to death, but this past week has taught me I'm not. I chose to keep this relationship private because of the same way the media is acting now, speculating, reporting without facts. But T, I'm truly going to miss you. You are my best friend, the true definition of homie, lover, friend. My condolences go to her entire family, especially her 3 kids, mom, brother, and Logan. She loved all of you guys unconditionally. Time for me to get out and get back to it. I know that's what she would want. Hashtag best friends." Now, I feel for him. When I read that, that really kind of shook me a little bit because it's not often that you see men open up that way and be vulnerable. But again, this man just suffered a very tragic loss. And I feel bad for him. I really do. When he posted this yesterday, and of course it went viral all over social media, a lot of people started to feel a type of way about it. And I'll explain what I mean by that. When he was talking about Tawassa being the love of his life, the person that put him on the high-end fashion, the person he would be on the phone all day, see 3-4 nights a day, this person that he was planning to spend on these holidays with, people felt like it was a jab to JuJu. Now, you might know that JuJu and Cameron were together for 10 years. And back in 2017, I believe, is when they finally called it quits. You might remember she went on to Breakfast Club. He was on Breakfast Club. He talked about how he got bored, so to speak. It wasn't fun anymore. And JuJu felt the type of way about what he said. Now, obviously, they broke up. He probably around that time got back with Tawassa, again, who he's known for a long time. And they've been together for the last year and a half until, unfortunately, her tragic passing, which is just so sad because she obviously was still a young woman. But like I said, a lot of people felt like, well, what was JuJu for you for the last 10 years? If you felt like this about this young lady, what was JuJu for the last 10 years? And I'm going to tell you what JuJu was, guys. She was a placeholder. I know that doesn't sound nice and it's not pleasant to hear, but JuJu was a placeholder. Don't act like people can be together for years and years and years and that truly not be the person that you're meant to be with. Don't act like people don't spend their whole lives with one person and then, just hanging out. And then he goes off a year later and get married to the so-called love of his life. So it does happen. But don't be a JuJu. That's my lesson in all of this. As tragic as this sounds, and I believe him, I genuinely believe everything he said that came out of his mouth, even though I do kind of feel like he was kind of shading JuJu at the same time, expressing his love for Tawassa. I'm not going to sit here in front and pretend like I don't think that he was trying to kind of jab a little bit. I felt a little shade in it. But don't be a JuJu. And what I mean by that is don't be a placeholder for no damn dude. And men, this can go the same for you. But women, we are known to do this. She spent 10 years of her life with Cameron. For him to go and obviously be with somebody else that he'd known, and now this is his homie lover friend. This is the person that the way he expressed himself, again, I believe every word he said, I do. But I can't imagine that JuJu didn't feel some type of way if she read that. I can't imagine that she sat here and thought to herself, 10 years? 10 years. 10 years. And some people say, well, why didn't Cameron show off Tawassa, but he had JuJu all over when he was together with JuJu, that's because I think Cameron looked at JuJu as a trophy. I do. He protected and cherished that which was super important to him, which was Tawassa, and he kept her close to the chest, even though it could have been something other reason, because if you look at Tawassa and you look at JuJu, they're both beautiful women, but JuJu technically would have been the Instagram girl, if you want to be honest. He put JuJu on display like she was a trophy. Every time you turn around, there was JuJu. He put her on display literally like a trophy. He kept Tawassa close. And then he didn't show her. He didn't show her. He kept her close. Don't be a JuJu. Don't be anybody's placeholder. She sat there for 10 years. You remember on Love and Hip Hop how she was almost begging, like, when are we going to get married? When are we going to get married? He didn't seem interested at all in marrying JuJu. He had no interest in being with JuJu like that. And I saw it. But again, a lot of people was like, no, she's the pretty girl. She's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl. And he still treated the pretty girl like a placeholder. But he went and got with his friend. He went and got with a woman that he wanted to spend his life with. That's what it sounded like. Now, it doesn't sound like he was any more closer to marrying Tawassa, but the way he spoke about her, to me, signaled that he did, in fact, feel like he found his true love, the love of his life. And like I said, a lot of people felt some type of way when he wrote that, because it's like, dude, you was with JuJu for 10 years. Why would you spend 10 years with somebody to go off and be with somebody else for a year and a half, and now that's the love of your life? Because it happens all the time, people. It happens all the time, more than you think. And that just means to me that you have to value yourself and not spend 10 years waiting on somebody to figure out what they want to do. Just for them to go off and be with someone else and immediately know that this is the person for you. So don't be a JuJu. Don't be a JuJu. Because I cannot imagine how she must have felt even in that moment. Even though this man is suffering, and he is suffering, I believe him. He got back together with Tawassa. Tawassa went off and did her thing. She had her family. He had his kid. He was off doing his thing with JuJu. And then for them to reconnect and for him to feel this strongly about her. To me, it seems like a Kim Porter Diddy situation all over again. Didn't appreciate the woman he had. 2 women. He didn't appreciate 2 women that he had. And now both of them are gone. Tawassa and JuJu. He didn't appreciate either one of them, to be honest with you. And now he's appreciating Tawassa more, obviously, because she's not here. And I hate how we have to always get these tributes to people when I don't know if she knew that when he was alive. Now, again, I believe every word he said. I do believe he loved her. I honestly believe that. And I commend Cameron, who can be very, very petty, by the way. I commend him for opening up himself in the way that he did to express his love for his woman. I hope he did it when she was alive too. But like I say, it feels like a whole Kim Porter Diddy all over again, where you just don't appreciate the presence of someone until it's too late for them to know that. And like I said, for the JuJus of the world, don't be a JuJu. Don't be holding nobody. Don't be no placeholder for 10 years until somebody figure out what they want to do. And then you find out that what they don't want to do is you. Rest in peace to Tawassa. And prayers up to Cameron and Tawassa's family. But I hope that this right here provides some kind of lesson to you guys out there. And I'll see you guys on the next video.